This video is brought to you by my generous backers over on Patreon. If you'd like to support the channel and get cool perks like access to the Discord, seeing the videos a week before anyone else, or exclusive Patreon only gameplays, then feel free to check out my Patreon. The link's in the description below. Tatyova Benthic Druid versus Liliana Heretical Healer. No lands in a lands matter deck, but we do have a means of getting a land with the 3 visits. Can we go for Skyshroud Claim on turn 1? I don't think so. I don't think so. We can go for it on turn 2 though. No discard from our opponent luckily, and there's a land to make, so that's good to get that out of the way on turn 1. We can actually go for 3 visits here as well, can't we? So let's do that as well. Yeah, so obviously this is an unfair matchup. We've got 3, 6 and 7 mana by turn 2. Our opponent on their turn 2 goes for a Night's Whisper. They go back up to 7 cards in hand. And we get into Ancient Tomb, which probably helps us get down Tatyova. We're just ramping like crazy this game, aren't we? And then, yeah, Skyshroud Claim. I thought I had worked that out correctly. Tropical Island and a couple of forests. Tropical Island and a forest. And yeah, our opponent scoops that, that's fair enough. Let's have a look at what we were drawing into. Lotus Cobra for more mana. Prismatic Vista. We've made a land in Ancient Tomb, so we'd play that next turn, but that's landfall twice. Into Rampaging Baloth's a lot more card draw with Nissa Vital Force, so as close to guaranteeing a victory as guaranteeing a victory can be on turn 2 without actually winning. Fair enough that our opponent decided to scoop it up there. Let's get on to the next one. Tatyova Benthic Druid versus Brago King Eternal. And we're keeping that because we've got a Brainstorm on turn 1. We can shuffle away with Misty Rainforest as well. If there's anything on top we don't like, might actually go in for the Dryad Arbor on turn 1 actually. Yeah, that takes us off of being able to shuffle with the Brainstorm. Yeah, so I'm actually going to go for Brainstorm instead. And then we can go for Green Sun Zenith on turn 2. I don't think it makes much of a difference, because we're not doing much in the early game anyway. Just a tap land from our opponent. And we've got Scape Shift. Yeah, it doesn't really matter what we put on top. Let's put Rift on top. And the Blighted Woodland as well. Then we can shuffle away the Cyclonic Rift. Want to see that in the late game anyway. So then we go Forest. Might as well put 1 into X just in case I want to get something else. I can't remember if I've got the Birds of Paradise. We do, but I think I'm going to go Dryad Arbor. I really don't like drawing into this in the late game. And then wishing that I'd played it earlier on, because it comes in with Summoning Sickness. I don't like tap lands and summoning sick lands. Mist Meadow Witch, which is Flicker with legs. Nissa Vital Force we can get into next turn, so we're going for Hinterland Harbour here. And Scape Shift, I don't think there's any need to Scape Shift. So we'll just make our opponent think we've got counters. Well, our opponent might have counter magic of his own. We will go Island into Nissa Vital Force. Alright, that lands. Let's untap an island. Could have untapped the Dryad Arbor actually because it's already at risk. Yeah, probably should have gone for that, just in case our opponent goes for a board wipe. Alright, at the end of the turn they go Generous Gift onto our Nissa. So they had an answer for our 2 Vasa. And then going for Reflector Mage. And what do they target? Yeah, they target our land. At least Yeah, I would have targeted Dryad Arbor there because that comes back in with Summoning Sickness, so that doesn't actually hurt us too much. Let's just go in for 2 Vasa and hope that it lands. Let's just go in for 2 Vasa and hope that it sticks until next turn. Really don't want to play Tatyova unless we can play a land on the same turn she comes out, but I'm just hoping my opponent doesn't have an answer. They've just used 2 of them. Block that thing with the elephant, and if they buff it, so be it. I don't want them flickering the Reflector Mage. Okay, they go for Restoration Angel, so that will flicker the Reflector Mage and take us off of our Tatyova. Curse of the Swine, that's a good one. Yeah, they might have wished that they'd held off on the Restoration Angel now. Go for that. We have to wait on our 2 Vasa anyway. So we exile all of those and replace them with boar tokens. And then we can play our Tatyova next turn. Hold back the elephant, that can block one of the boars. And then they go in for their commander. They really don't want to be flickering those tokens, so I'm not all too worried about Brago. To be honest, maybe they can get something good out next turn before they swing in with him. Okay, we get into a Cultivate. We'll just go straight in for our commander. And then play the Misty Rainforest. Ready for the Crucible of Worlds next turn is likely what we're going in for. Chord of Calling, I don't think... Yeah, 1 mana creature is Birds of Paradise. I don't think that's really worth bothering with. So we'll just pretend we've got Counter Magic and go for the Breeding Pool at the end of the turn. Now a Tribute Mage, search for an artifact with CMC of 2. Unless they can play a land, they can't actually cast that. They can flicker the Tribute Mage though. Let's see what they go for. They grab themselves an Azoria Signet, which it doesn't look like they're going to play this turn. Swing in and they're going to be able to grab something else with Tribute Mage. These rocks are good with Brago because Brago can untap them once they hit us, which they do now. There you go for another rock with the Mind Stone. Fortunately can't cast it. We'll go for the Breeding Pool. And we'll draw a card at the end of the turn with that. Alright, and there actually is a counter spell there. So Beast Within, we can go for that on their Brago if we want to. We can... Yeah, let's just go in for Cultivate here. I think I want to hold up the Mana Drain and the Beast Within because I'm not sure what my opponent's going to do next turn. They're probably just going to play out the rocks. But we'll get more lands into play so that we can have more sack fodder for the Scape Shift. Put the island intact. And then we'll go Forest. And we've got the Eternal Witness now as well to grab back the Nissa if we want to later on. There's a new one from Theros Beyond Death. Play an additional land on each of your turns, which is good with Crucible. Let's set that up now then. We'll hope that our opponent isn't going to do anything too crazy that makes us wish we kept the Beast Within. And we'll hold up the Mana Drain instead. Yeah, looks like they're just going in for the rocks to help set them up for the next few turns. And then they've still got 2 mana held up. I don't know if they've got any more rocks to get with the Tribute Mage. I would assume they do. Things like Arcane Signet, maybe Felwar Stone. Let's just allow them to do that. There's nothing we can do with the mana we've held up. Alright, so Lightning Greaves, which I think I will counter. They're probably going to go for that here. Because I want the option of blowing up their commander. Yeah, there we go. They go straight in for it. Let's go Mana Drain onto that. And that might mean that we go Alhamrit's Archive with that additional mana this turn. We get into Waterlogged Grove. Yeah, so let's go in for the Alhamrit's Archive. Then we'll go Dryad of the Elysian Grove. And we can play Misty Rainforest twice with that. Yeah, this is a really, really good one from Theros Beyond Death. It switches on our fetches and turns them into, well, lands that tap for any colours. And it also switches on things like Valakut and Cabal Coffers. And it allows us to make additional land drops. So for 3 mana, and it's a 2/4 body, so just a really, really good card. I think, much as I'd like to play the Misty Rainforest again, we have to go Reliquary Tower here. Okay, Mystical Tutor is good. We'll just do stuff on our opponent's turn. I think we have to go Beast Within here and finally stop our opponent's Brago. And if they've got counter magic, then that's a good thing to get rid of at least. Oh, Glenalendra Archmage. That's really tricky then. Well, that forces us into getting rid of the Brago with the Beast Within. Have to do it now. Really don't want Glenalendra being flickered. Then we'll go Crop Rotation and get rid of an island and see what we want to grab with that. Want to do all of this before Glenalendra comes down. And we'll grab Field so that we can start trying to draw the game to a close. Alright, Oko is surely going to eat counter magic from the Glenalendra. And then we'll try and draw out some kind of counter magic with the Mystical Tutor as well. Luckily we've got so much stuff to do in hand that we can draw out the counters from Glenalendra. So I'm not as worried about it as I might have been. Let's just, Rift ought to get countered. Alright, so we draw into the Rift. Let's see about... let's just carry on drawing a bunch of cards. We'll go Misty. No need to show our opponent that we've got more cards in hand. Want to make as much landfall as we can in this deck. Oh, Sword of Temptation just takes the Glenalendra away, so that's actually a better solution to that one. Let's see what else we draw into. Play the Misty again. Alright, and during all that we got into Azusa. Let's just to, maybe have our opponent concede. We will see if they want to concede to the Sword of Temptation. No, we need to actually tap for the right mana. Take their Glenalendra away. Now we will have control over the ability here, but if it comes back in with Persist, it will come back in under their control, so we will give it back to them. So we need to be careful with that. Now they're going for casting something. Yeah, they can't counter. Yeah, they can't counter abilities with this, just non-creature spells. And obviously they thought that they could counter that, so decided to scoop it up after that one. I think, in the next few turns, I think we're going in for the victory there. We've just gotten way too much mana, and I imagine what they do is going for their Brago. Brago decks, as far as I can tell, function off of Brago mainly. We counter him next turn. Failing the counter, we go for Reality Shift, and then probably swing in for the victory on Cyclonic Rift. We've got some more lands to make with Azusa, making a bunch of zombies. So we've probably got lethal next turn after the Cyclonic Rift, which we would cast on our turn after dealing with their Brago or whatever it is that we want to counter. So that looks like an early scoop, but I think we would have had it next turn anyway. And I've had a very difficult time getting games this recording session, so it'll have to do anyway, I'm afraid. I hope you all got some enjoyment from it. Be sure to leave it a like and a subscribe. If you do enjoy the content, it really helps to push the content out to new viewers. I'm tribalkai on the EDH channel. Thank you for watching.